Hi, I'm Janae.
And I'm John.
This is our love story of how we knew we found the one. We knew we didn't want our love story to end up like this.
Instead, we wanted
to be one of your future married masters.
Hey, and you even said you'd be showing up at our door some 20 years from now. Here we are.
We want to be like Carol and Mort, who go dancing almost every night.
And celebrate the joy of life together.
Or like Millie and Joe, who are still dancing in their hearts. We started dancing from the beginning.
And hopefully we'll continue dancing until the end.
Experts tell us that the best thing that we can do for our family is to love each other.
Because, of course, it's the most significant relationship by far.
Our love story is dedicated to our 3 sons, Gavin, Grant, and Garrett.
We love you guys.
So how did it all begin?
Here's our project, Everlasting Love Story.
The little girl who found it.
And the little boy who found it. Together, a story of heart and hope.
There once was a little girl, just as happy as could be. Her life was filled with joy and love when she was young and free.
There was once a little boy, just as happy as can be. His life was filled with joy and love when he was young and free.
But suddenly
something changed.
The little girl
and, of course, the little boy grew up.
Having fun was not playing with toys. Fun was when girls were kissing the boys.
Always in a hurry, had time to wait, with games to play, cars to drive, and, of course, all those girls to date.
If only she became a wife, this would bring it to her life. So how did I know he was the one? 3 signs from God. I was working at my job at the University of St. Thomas where John and I met. He called me at work and asked me to go out on our first date to go horseback riding. I got chills all over my body as I asked God when I was a little girl to give me a sign for who I should marry. And the sign was to be the first man I went horseback riding with. I don't know why, because I was never really into horses, but it sure sounded romantic. Ironically, our first horseback riding date got rained out, and the first time we actually went horseback riding together was on our honeymoon. The second sign for me was when we went to our first couples retreat while still in college. I was envisioning us doing retreats like this one, when another couple at the retreat told us that we would be great at giving retreats. John agreed, and now 15 years later, we're giving retreats for couples. And then the third sign for me was the song Endless Love. These are actually some of my journal entries from college when I wrote about John. We were on a date when the song played, and I wrote in this entry how I just loved the song and I hoped it was the song I would have at my wedding. And when John heard the song, he thought it was great, so I thought it was a sign from God. And our first dance together as husband and wife was, of course, listening to Endless Love.
So how did I know Janae was the one? Well, meeting her 3 separate times certainly helped. Literally, it took me 3 separate times of meeting Janae that I realized that she was actually the same person. The first time was 6 months before I graduated. We met at a party. I was immediately attracted to her, but I never had a chance to talk to her. And by the end of the night, she was already gone. 2 months later, I met her on campus at the cafeteria. I saw her across the room, and I was immediately drawn to her, but I never had a chance or the courage to go up and talk to her. And then it was on graduation night that I saw her. I got the courage to go up to her, and it was through talking with her that I realized that she was the same person that I had met 2 separate times. And we talked and we had a great time. And I handed her a card as we were leaving for the night that said, "I know I'm somebody because God doesn't make junk." It was something that I had with me for 4 years in college, and for some reason felt the need to give it to her.
Then they married with his wife at his side, ready for the future he would provide.
Their first new home soon came alive, with each of their kids, a total of 5.
So how did we know we've still found it with each other?
Well, here's 3 ways we still keep our Project Everlasting Love Story alive.
The first way is we work at it, like renewing our vows in honor of our 10th anniversary.
The second way is through the Valentine's Day parties we host for couples, which is the first one, the most recent one, or any of them in between. For the past 9 years, we've been sharing our love story through fun games with some 30-some couples that have been joining us.
And the third and final way is co-founding a small group ministry for married couples. When we first dreamed about working with couples, we named it Couples Cove. 10 years later, we now have Couples in Christ. And she was as happy as could be.
And he was as happy as can be, finally living the way it ought to be. The end.